Welcome back to another episode of the Tacho Show. Once again, we are here in Aether Raids with 2 hours left to go in the season. So I finally was able to take a defense loss that I can show to you guys. So we have one loss and then everything else was a win. Seems like the new defense has been doing pretty good. Now, of course, this is Dark Season, so I'm not able to run Peko Mama here, unfortunately. So there's quite a lot of options for Darkness Mythics that I think could be viable. Loki is one of them. Emblem is obviously the one that I went with, and then the other one would have been Note for the Pathfinder and the Insighted support. Mainly the Insighted support, because I don't really see much of a need for Pathfinder on this particular team. But I decided to go for Emblem on this one, so we can just inflict feud on 3 columns and 3 rows. Severance can also be good for, undefended, but mostly it's there for the feud, because I think people overlook how powerful feud is right now when people are running supports like crazy. We're seeing units supports like Seteth right now, who has his refine that's giving the true DR. And then we're about to also get the new unit that does that too on the upcoming banner. Who is it again? Timera, who gives 10 flat DR when the enemies proc a special. So, that's a really good support as well. So, just having feud right now, I think, is very good and valuable. And that's why I decided to go for her. Okay, we have Sharena here as our frontline unit. The main reason why is because she has the best matchup against Felix out of all of the other possible options I was going to put there. So, the other 2 options were Brave Seliph and Brave Alphonse. Alphonse is really good, obviously. He can just stand there and he's raising stats permanently. So he really just, accentuates how much pressure we put on the opponent in terms of how fast they have to act. But he doesn't really do the best against Felix, especially not right now considering it's Felix bonus week. So he's getting bonus stats. Alphonse is as well, but doesn't really make much of a difference. He doesn't have a good matchup against Felix. And then Brave Seliph, if it wasn't Alphonse, or if it wasn't Felix bonus season, I think I would have actually gone for Seliph here, because he's probably just going to tear through Felix, and he has a really good matchup against Emblem Mike as well. So, Seliph would have been the option here, but because it's bonus week for Felix, I decided to go for Sharena. She just has a little bit more of a sturdy matchup with the color advantage and all that. Okay, we also have Micaiah on this defense, so we can cleanse penalties and then provide warp support, and then I've got Breath of Life 4 on her as well. We have Gatekeeper over here for the warp bubble, because I ditched Myrrh for this nightmarish Farsaver right here. Now, I don't really know how effective this unit is actually going to be into the future, because we're about to get Fogado on the upcoming banner, and I think Fogado just beats her straight up, because he can prevent her from activating her special, and then he's got color advantage, he's got reflect damage. He is probably just going to bust right through her. So what's funny is I was so quick to ditch Myrrh to get this Fiorm, but I can probably just take off Fiorm and Gatekeeper and just go back to running Myrrh next season. I think Myrrh probably has a safer matchup against Fogado. And then, the only other things that beat Myrrh are, a very, very heavily supported Gulveg and then, Bernadetta, pretty much. And I think Fiorm beats all of them with relative ease besides Fogado, and I have to run this crappy seal on her as opposed to Hardy Bearing. Normally what you want to do with Fiorm is give her the Hardy Bearing seal so she can beat Bernadetta. But I can't do that because I have to give it to Felix so he can beat Emblem Mike. Because otherwise this whole team just folds against Emblem Mike. So this is a serious issue right now. We need more copies of the Hardy Bearing seal. We need Hardy Bearing seal A, B, C, how they've been doing with the stat ones. Why do we get stat boost BV? Why can't we get Hardy Bearing BV instead? I don't understand. This is such a valuable seal right now, and there's only one of them going around, which is obviously very sucky. Okay, rant over. Now we have Robin here. Robin with Kanto Curb, of course, to protect us from Satyr units and also Kanto units. Then she's also providing the ice tiles on these spaces here, as well as on the duo's hindrance if it gets broken. I've got 2 duo heroes here, which I guess that kind of helps. I could also probably put this duo's hindrance over here. But slot 6 is pretty common for the catapult, so I don't want that to happen, so I'm just going to go like this for now. And it's decently enough protected by Robin there having Kanto Curb. But Yeah, the one thing I'm seriously considering is just replacing Fiorm to get Myrrh again, and then I'm going to take off Gatekeeper for somebody else. Because, like, there's definitely a lot of other options I could be using instead of Gatekeeper, and then the only downside to having Myrrh there is that she doesn't get Warp Bubble right away. But then we can give, like, Warp Bubble to Sharena or whoever is over here. Like, if it's Anima Season, I can probably get it on Peko Mama, and then having the Warp Bubble, like, in 2 different spots is very effective. So those are the possibilities there. And then as far as traps go, we've got this fake bolt trap, which looks like a real bolt trap. So I can just put it there and kind of like offset people trying to move onto that space. The healing tower is the bonus structure right now, so it doesn't even matter. Even if that was the real bolt trap, you could just test it and easily get your HP back. So maybe in this season it doesn't really matter, but maybe in future seasons this might come in handy. I don't know. All right, so we'll go ahead and take a look at some defenses right now. Of course, this season was also a wash because we had the glitch where they gave us 400 Aether, but it didn't actually work. On the first day, if you skipped your fight, you did not get your Aether back, unfortunately. So that affected a lot of people, a lot of Feytubers in particular, too. If we go over here and take a look, I know for a fact Oblivion and Joel were affected. So we can just, like, quickly see over here. Yeah, so I didn't do too bad. I got rank 4. Mainly it's because I don't have a lot of merges on my mythics. So, like, that's as high as I can get. But, yeah, if we go down here, we can see Oblivion and Phaeology both got perfect scores. The only problem is they got shafted by one fight because of day 1. So, had they been able to do their fights, they both would have gotten rank 1 right now. So, that is very unfortunate. My heart goes out to those guys. I don't even know if they're going to manage to get top 3K at this point. It's hard to say, but I would say most likely, but the people that got affected negatively by the Aether glitch really, I mean, they really deserve some better compensation. Okay, so are we going to look at all of these defenses? I don't know if we're going to watch all of them, but let's start over here. Let's start with the very first one here. And I'm going to turn the animations off as well, because we don't need to watch, like, every single detail that happens here. All right, so this first guy, he's got Emblem Ike with Breath of Life 4, which, another reason why I have Feud on this team. I went for Embla instead of Loki, because Feud can really mess with Breath of Life if you don't have allies in 2 spaces. All right, so he's just breaking some stuff, and then he puts Ike right there. I don't know if Ike is the best choice for this, but okay. All right, we go for our Harsh Command with Gatekeeper, and then he also, after he Harsh Commands, he ends up in a spot where he can be giving his drive support all stat up 5 to Felix and Sharena. So it's very good for him to just be able to move over there and get the Harsh Command off. And somehow Sharena was able to beat Ike. That's not really what's supposed to happen. Felix is supposed to be the guy to beat Ike, but yeah, I guess Sharena also has that potential as well. All right, so this one's done. He can't do anything else. All right, we got this guy over here, Japanese dude. Okay, another Emblem Ike. Dude, Emblem Ike is basically... He's done. He's washed at this point. Like, you should probably stop relying on him as your solo carry for Aether Ray's offense. Because he's like the #1 threat. So, like, everyone is going to stack their defense to beat him. And it's not that tough to do that right now. Oh, we also have Fiorm here. Interesting. So, he's got Hardy bearing Fiorm. So, Ike protected by Far Save, and then also all of these support units that he's got there. Okay, he doesn't have the fence, so we're actually going to go in on turn 1 here. All right, Sharena does a decent bit of damage, but not enough to kill, and then Felix comes in and finishes off the rest. All right, yeah, that's more so what's supposed to happen here. Just Sharena goes in on Ike and just does a little bit of damage, and then Felix sweeps. All right, we should be good after that. That's pretty much do-si-do for that fight. All right, this one over here. This guy's name is Testa. Okay. What is he, like, testing things? So, all right, Black Knight. Christmas Black Knight. Wait, how many merges? Okay, plus 10. Yeah, this guy was on a Hero Fest banner. So, like, if you're going to use him, I would imagine he's probably at, like, plus 10. Plus 4 Ike. We got Ash, Dagger, Lumera, and Ishtar. Lumera's been very common, which it kind of makes sense because she does set up the stone tiles, and her stone tiles go in a really wide radius. So she has a chance to, like, offset enemy ice tiles by doing that. Alright, he put Ike really far in, so Robin went first. Normally they stay at around the bottom, but you can certainly try to go in if you want, but then you're in range of units like Micaiah and also Robin, who can also do a lot of damage. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. And then there we go. We get all of our KOs there, so we're good to go in that fight. Alright, here is the next one. Okay, so we have Nurgle this time. Okay, interesting. Nurgle at +4 with Lagu's friend there. Got Gatekeeper support with Breath of Life. People are very high on Gatekeeper right now, and I don't really think that's... I don't think it's as warranted, to be honest, even though I'm, like, the biggest Gatekeeper fan. I think you could probably just get away with better options than him for the Warp Bubble. Particularly Myrrh. Definitely if you're playing Aether Raid's offense, you could just run Myrrh over him. Maybe you don't want Myrrh to be far saving, though. That's the thing. But Myrrh is still a pretty solid enough far save. Okay, he doesn't want to go in just right away, so he's, like, mixing around his units, setting up ice tiles. I'm not sure what he's waiting on. Like, there's not really much benefit he gets from waiting here. Alright, and then he puts Robin over there. Oh, this guy made a mistake, actually. Because look at what's going to happen here. So, he set up his ice tile thinking that, okay, he's safe. None of my units are in range, but he forgot about this. Okay, so then my Robin puts up my ice tile, and it overwrites his ice tile. So then our units are able to move in and start attacking. Alright, a little bit of a slip-up by this guy. I don't think he meant to do that, though. That was obviously an accident. Alright, we have Kane up next. Alright, another Emblem Mike. Just Emblem Mikes all day. Like, every single fight is just Emblem Mike on offense. This is why this guy was such a dumb release. Because, like, even the casuals can just run him and get away and pretty much win their fights. Like, if you're going to beat somebody, at least put in some effort. Put in some thought. Other than just, like, toss Emblem Mike in the way and watch him just win the fight. Yeah, just such bad unit design with that guy. Alright, he's just breaking structure. I don't know what he's waiting on here either. This is why I liked having Alphonse on the team, because he's just, like, raising our stats while they're messing around doing nothing. But in this particular case, I decided to go for Sharena here, who has been doing good enough. Like, I'm not going to say Sharena's been doing bad here. Alright, there she literally just one-shots Emblem Mike. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like, sometimes she beats him, and then sometimes not. I'm not really too sure. Like, maybe it depends on what kind of supports they're getting on him, but for the most part, we are turning off supports with Embla, so I don't know. It's hard to say exactly what's going on there. Just sometimes we win, sometimes we don't. Seems to be a running theme with this game. Alright, so we got our KOs there. We can move on. Okay, so here is the loss. Let's go ahead and take a look at the loss now. Let's see what happened in this one. Oh, what the heck? This guy has double Fiorms? What? Oh, one of them's got near save. Interesting. So he's got double Fiorm. One of them, the far save one, of course, has Hardy Bearing, so they can beat Bernadetta. And then this near saver is just like a speedy Fiorm with Pavis. And yeah, Shield Fighter and Pavis is probably just a good idea, right? Now, I don't know if Fiorm necessarily is the best choice for your near save option. You'd probably be better off with like or Ascended Amelia or like Gatchry with his refine, but I mean, it works. If it works, it works, right? Just go for Fiorm. Why not? And then that gives him more ice tiles, too. You can, if you manage to break my Duo's Hindrance, and then you got two of these units with double ice tile instances, that could be a really good thing. Yeah, maybe she is the best near saver. I don't know. Like, just the ice tile support is really strong. All right, we got Freya for Gale Forcing, then we got Lumera, and then Micaiah and Ash. All right. Yeah, so probably some warping shenanigans about to ensue here. Which is the reason why Myrrh, I think, could be a better option than Fiorm. Just to give Warp Bubble to somebody a little closer to that Duo's Hindrance. Alright, he's just staying still for the most part here. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Alright, so this is probably where the... Yeah, there we go. So that's where the warping comes in. He warps over there. He breaks the ice... Not the ice. The Duo's Hindrance. Then he gets a quick Gale Force off with Freya. And then he gets another attack off. She's got Kanto as well, so she can get out of the way safely. And then he goes ahead and puts up the ice there. Now, there's a couple of ways I could stop that. I could put the Duo's Hindrance over here, like I said, but slot 6 Catapult is pretty common. So, like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I think the real thing would just be to have Gatekeeper a little closer or have Warp Bubble a little closer to that Duo's Hindrance so he can't do what he just did. Now, would that really matter, though? Let's see here. How well are the near units going to do against his Fiorm here? All right, obviously, we know how the range units are going to do. Very poorly. But it looks like Felix can't really get through her either. And this is Felix bonus unit as well. Mind you, like, he's getting bonus stats that he wouldn't normally have. So the fact that she's just completely annihilating him there... I think that pretty much does it, right? Like, there's not really any way he's going to be able to beat her if he can't beat her in this season. Yeah, maybe that's just the move. Just double Fiorm. Have one with near save, have one with far save. I don't know. Alright, sure. I don't know how many people are going to do this, though, but it doesn't have to be Fiorm. Like I said, you could run Ascended Amelia, or you could go for, what's-his-face instead? Also, Gatry with the Refine. So, if you want to know how to beat Fiorm right now, or not beat Fiorm, but beat Felix right now, pretty much just run a good near saver. Near save is definitely on the back on top, I would have to say. If you're going to try to... Because Felix is on every good defense, so, like, having near save is definitely going to help you out there. Oh, that's not a good idea. So he just puts Felix right there to try and bait everybody. I don't know if that's going to work out here, buddy. Alright, he is able to beat Sharena, though, which is pretty interesting, but then we still have our Felix, who can go to town and get some cheeky KOs. So, yeah, even though Felix was able to live, and Felix has a better matchup against the other guys I mentioned earlier that I could have put in that spot, like Brave Alphonse and Brave Seliph. So that's pretty much the reason why we've got Sharena there. Okay, Seteth, obviously a good support unit, but if we hit somebody with our Severance here, that's not going to come in handy. Alright, then Alphonse. Looks like Alphonse is going to be his primary bait option. Now, Alphonse should have a good matchup against Sharena, but probably not against Felix and the rest of these guys. So, let's see here. Alright, he's getting his Seteth over there. And then he decides to put Alphonse in the way, so let's see what happens. Of course, Alphonse was hit by a boatload of debuffs here. Look how many debuffs this kid has. Oh my god. We get, what do we get? Like Hush Spectrum, we get Discord, we get Panic, we get Feud, we get Severance. Like, all the debuffs, basically. Every single debuff. Okay, Sharena does nothing to Alphonse. Pretty much expected. And Felix doesn't either. Wow, he's able to tank him too. Although, obviously, he can't threaten Felix, so we still get our KO there. And I think this guy surrenders right on the spot. Yep. It would be difficult for him to beat Felix at this point, too. Like, he doesn't really have a way to bust through Felix, because he's going to have to move a lot of spaces to get to him. So, yeah, maybe he could have continued, but I don't see a good continuation here. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at the final replay, Enrath. Let's see how this one goes. All right, so we got a Panette over here. Oh, Gale Force Panette. Gale Force Edelgard with Double Fury. We got a Miracle Milla with even Pulse Tie there. All right, then we got Dorothea, of course. We have Ash, and then we have Air. So, pretty solid Gale Force strat. Not sure how he's going to approach, though, because we have the Ice Tiles. It's rare to see people try to Gale Force against a team like this without Felix. Because, like, he's one of the best ways to get around the Ice Tiles. But running, like, these types of units for Gale Forcing right now is very, very shaky, as we see here. It doesn't seem like he had any kind of good approach, so he just forfeited right there. I mean, there's probably... I think what he wanted to do was break the duo's hindrance first so he could start using Dorothea's, like, harmonic skill and get, like, extra actions that way. But, yeah, regardless of what he tried to do, there wasn't really a good approach. And then Gatekeeper is putting Warp Bubble all the way, like, over there, so he can't exactly warp in and attack my units directly. So, yeah, I guess RIP. Gale Forcing failed. So that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the little defense team showcase. Of course, next season, we're going to be back to Anima season, so I can just go ahead and run Peko Mama once again, which I think is for sure the better option over Embla. But in Dark Season, it's rough. We don't have Peko Mama, so we got to use somebody else. So yeah, let me know how you guys were able to make out this season. Obviously, the glitch really messed with a lot of people, so RIP. But that's going to wrap us up. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Take care, fellas, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.